Hello, my friends. I'm Chris Biffle, Coach B, broadcasting tonight, November 18th. We're talking about challenging kids, and especially the toughest of the challenging kid problem. What do you do when they band together against you? What do you do about rebel cliques? And coming up tonight, a cosmic announcement. I think that's kind of an understatement when I say cosmic. Unfortunately, I got no bigger word than cosmic, a cosmic announcement coming at the end of tonight's program. So we're ready. We're excited. Here's the first screen. That's me there with my green hair. That's my professional look. It's week 11 in our master class, The Independence, program 567. A lot of segments tonight besides discussion of the independence. We have a zingy bonus. The zingy bonus is you are still ever so cool. I'd like to know how my online audience likes those zingy bonuses. That's where we give you a little secret about whole brain teaching. Also coming up tonight, another brain fact segment, Make Mine Serotonin. My online audience digs the zingy bonuses, the little secrets. And the brain fact, Make Mine Serotonin, you're learning something about the brain every single Monday night. Another segment coming up tonight is the mystery thing lesson. This is where Coach B tells you something about himself and you try to figure out the lesson. These are our models for how you can share your personal experiences in class in an academic setting. And the lesson tonight is, oh, it's exciting, Coach B's one-night magical curve. Yeah, that's the zingy mystery lesson. We're also going to play You Bet Your Wibby. Who loved playing You Bet Your Wibby last week? This is when you get to figure out how you rack up against who you used to be. And coming tonight, an undreamed of wondrous announcement. An undreamed of wondrous announcement coming at the end of this program. It's all coming at you, my friends, including our main segment on independent kids. Well, who are we? We're whole brain teaching. We're over 100,000 strong. We're big time on YouTube. 4 million views, 10 million pages downloaded. Facebook is exploding. We project that at this growth, 10% of all educators in the United States will be on our Facebook page in 2 years. Yes. Here's one of our friends, Biffy Bluebird. What if someone wants a copy of these slides or needs a professional development certificate? Biffy, good to see you. Good to see you, Coach. And here's Smarty Wonderbeat. Easy breezy, lemon squeezy. Details are at the end of this program. Good to see you, Smarty. Coach, it's always good to see you, but remember, it's easy breezy to get a professional development certificate. Ho, 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 ho. Now, my friends, take a look at this. Here are the scoreboard levels. We've covered a lot of these. Scoreboard, super improver team, practice cards, the guff counter last week, and now independence. Let's just talk about the scoreboard. Here's the problem in our classes. You start with a system in August, and it's peachy keen, and then about 5 weeks later is dead wood. Anybody ever noticed that your year-long classroom management system is swell for about 30 days of actual instruction? Who's had that experience out there? I'd love to know. And while you're telling me if you had the experience of a year-long classroom management system going belly up after 30 days of instruction, I'm taking a shot at California Clear. New Mexico gal says, yeah, she has had that experience. So is Tall Man, said, true that. Absolutely, says Page Art. B. Marvin says, some longer, some shorter. Usually lasts until the holidays if you're lucky. My friends, here's the deal. Is it a weird coincidence that video games have levels? Why do video games have levels? Games for kindergartners have levels. Games for adults have levels because you keep changing it up. You avoid habituation. Habituation is the brain state produced by identical stimulus. Let's talk about habituation. Did you ever go to a new restaurant and you ate that chuck burger and it was so tasty the first time? Oh, it was so good the first time. Would you go back 3 more nights in a row and eat the chuck burger? Probably not if you're an earthling. If you're an alien, you might. The reason the chuck burger doesn't taste as good on the third night is your brain has become habituated. Give those taste buds a rest. Unfortunately, in teaching, we can't give the kids a rest. We got to keep teaching them every day. So this is why we use levels. Keep changing it up. So tonight we are on level 5. Here's our friend Marge. What should I do if I've used the scoreboard, practice cards, the guff counter, and I still have a rebel clique? Marge, I've got you a solution tonight. I certainly hope so, Coach, because I've got a rebel clique and I've been following all your directions. Well, let's just stop the program a second and ask who in the audience tonight has a rebel clique. That means 2 or more students who reinforce each other's rascally behavior. You got 2 or more rascals who work together to drive you batty? Tell me about it. Oh, we got some people out there who've got the rebel cliques. D. Manuel, you praise the stars that you don't get rebel cliques next week. Yes, these techniques work with emotionally disturbed kids. The question is, there's no kids that techniques don't work for because they're whole brain. Whatever type of kid you got, let's use their whole brain. And they feed off each other. And they make eye contact. Oh, yeah. Smart mouth little girls, Freeman. All right. We're going to help you out. Now, rebel cliques make me feel like words I can't say. There's one of our startled teachers. Andre Desch says WBT's secret is leave no mental area left for challenging behavior. Yeah. All right. Now let's just talk about what we mean by a rebel clique. What is a rebel clique exactly? A rebel clique is a group of students who reinforce each other's rebellious behavior. In WBT terminology, we identify them as the independents. We make a special place for the independents on our scoreboard. Ho, 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 ho. As the ancient Romans say, groovius Maximus. Now this is an important point. In whole brain teaching, we don't just do some stuff and throw it out the window. We start the scoreboard and we keep it. The next level on top of that is super improver team. Then you go practice cards. Then you go guff counter. Then you go independence. Every level supplements the other. Here's what it looks like. Here's how you add independence to your scoreboard. This is your scoreboard. You've got a place for guff, and then you add a place for the independence. That's level 5. Stay at the guff level for months. Here comes Coach B. Before you introduce the independence, be sure you've been using white practice cards for weeks, even a month or more. You'll find that in webcast 565. Look at the scoreboard again. Let's stop for a second. Live studio audience, who is using the scoreboard? Come on, tell me. I want to know the total number of marks, smileys plus frownies, or positive plus negative, total number of marks on an average day. And I'll tell you if you're using the scoreboard correctly. Total number of marks. I'm taking a drink. Dash, how many marks per hour are you awarding? 30 to 35 Loftus. Nancy? Nancy's a great teacher. If a great whole brain teacher has to use 40, how many do you have to use? 30-ish, 40 to 60. Tall man, that's good. Tahoe girl, pick it up a little bit. Marsh, you know that's not enough. Turkey versus football fans, that's good. Kath, about 40 a day, great. Shelly Moko, you know that's too few. B. Marvin, you are wonderful because you're thinking about where you were and you're moving up. All right. We got some pros online tonight. Here's our next slide. Here's how you explain the independence. Pay attention now. Here's how you explain the independence to your kids. You say that the independents are students who have been independent from the rest of the class. They will have their own section of the scoreboard. You'll tell the independents who they are at recess. Give me an ah. Now you might say, Coach, I can read your minds electronically. I know that's scary. And I know you're thinking, Coach, why are you calling them independents? I'm calling them independents to do you a favor so that when the kid goes home, they don't say, the teacher put me in a group called Rowdy Rascals. No. The kid says, the teacher put me in a group called the Independents. That's not going to make the hair stand up on the back of some parent's neck. You see the logic of calling them independents? Make it a nice name. Keep yourself out of parental hot water. Online audience, are you digging the name Independence? And do you see the logic behind it? Jeff battles online so we can finally get the party started. All right, here we go. So you're going to take the independence aside at recess. So you're going to bring 2 to 4 students together, point out that it may be quote unquote easier for them because they're friends and they influence each other. However, if they lose on the scoreboard, they all get a white card. Oh, They only have to stay in the independent group one day. If they stay longer, it is their choice. You see that? You've been giving out the white cards to individual kids for several weeks, but now the whole independent group gets a white card if they lose. And you know what? There's one or two kids in that independent group are going to pull the whole team down. Do you see where this is going? Instead of those rebel kids nipping your tail, because you're the alpha wolf. I'm taking my glasses off. You are the alpha wolf, my friend, and you've got some little nippers who've been taking hairy chunks out of your big, glorious, bushy tail. Now those little nippers are going to be doing what they should have been doing, nipping each other. Because nothing aggravates a rebel kid more than getting penalized for something he didn't do. Ho. Huh? Listen to me. Listen. I'm taking off the glasses again. I've never done this before 2 times in a row. I had a teacher say to me a few weeks ago, what if the kids just laugh you out of the classroom? What if they won't go along with it? Here's my answer if you are afraid of your kid's reaction. Get some steel in your spine, my friend. Pick up your kitchen chair and your whip and your little bag of meaty morsels. You step in to that cage and you have the attitude, come on, you big cats, jump through my hoop. If you want a meaty morsel, get in there, steel in your spine, and make those big cats jump at your command. If you don't have enough steel in your spine to run your class the way you think you should, then go online and look for a job collecting kitty litter. That's my message for tonight. Steel in your spine, make those big cats jump through your hoops. Anybody love that analogy? You know, the trainer of the big cats, making them jump through the hoops. They might flash their sharp claws at you, but hey, no meaty morsels for you until you start jumping. All right, here we go. Glasses back on. Make certain the independents don't win. Whoever has broken the most rules gets the white card and a white card note home, and everybody else gets a white card. I'll say it again. Nothing aggravates rebel kids more than getting a penalty for something they didn't do. So they get angry at each other, and that destroys clique unity. This is what you really have to understand about groups of rebel kids. They have boisterous, aggressive personalities. A group of rebel kids is not a unified whole. You got one kid at the top who rules by fear, intimidation, and reprisal. Listen to how they talk to each other, especially how the big nipper talks to the little nipper in her group. They will turn on each other given the opportunity. So, my friends, that's the strategy. But what do you say to a parent? Parent comes in and says, well, wait a second. Parent says, wait a second. You're giving my kid a penalty for something she didn't do? Who online wants to know what to say to an upset parent who complains that you're giving her kid a penalty for something she didn't do? You want to hear that answer? I'll just take a few drinks here. Waiting for my online audience to catch up with me. Isn't it good to have something in your back pocket that you can say to the parents? I'm going to tell you what to say to the parents. Michelle Shelton, who's one of our rising superstars. Michelle, I'm going to stop the program right now and give you a signal honor. Michelle, you just changed your name to Red. You've been doing such a great job on the book club. You get to be guru for a night. Michelle Shelton, everyone, I'm telling you, she is going to be one of our greats. All right, let's see what to say to parents. Here it is. You say this: I believe your child is in the wrong kind of group. Just start with that sentence. That parent believes her child is in the wrong kind of group. And you continue, she needs to see that a negative choice by one can have a negative effect on all. She can leave the group whenever she wants. All she has to do is tell me. Let's solve the problem of your child being in the wrong group before she gets to high school. Do you dig that? Number one, it hits the parent where they live. They firmly believe it's not their child, it's the group that their child is in. And you know what? If the parent has a child in a rebel group, they're getting rebel spillover at home. Suddenly the kid starts mouthing off in a way they never did before because they've gotten practice in the rebel group. They've been getting their tails nipped by the big nipper in the group, and now they're trying it out on you. So mom has noticed a change of behavior. And you say to her, hey, let's fix this before it becomes a problem in high school. Now, look at me. Memorize the next little piece because it will send shudders through the heart of your upset parents, especially if the parents, whether they're parents of boys or girls. Listen to this next piece. Memorize it. Here it comes. Then add in a slow, deep voice, yes, let's solve this problem before high school when hanging out with the wrong crowd can result in issues with drugs, alcohol, or unwanted pregnancies. What is the phrase in what I just said that is going to send shivery shockwaves through the heart of those parents whose kid is in the wrong group? What's the phrase that gets them? You see that, love to teach? Oh, wow, that's pretty harsh. My friends, it's harsh, but true. Isn't it true? You say it's pretty harsh. Do kids end up in the wrong group in high school because they've been in the wrong group for a number of years? And do they end up suffering or inducing unwanted pregnancies? Yes, they do. And is that a parent's nightmare? Yes. The whole thing with the independence, listen to me, the whole thing with the independence is you say to the parent, she only has to be in the group one day. She's still in the group. She needs to learn, he needs to learn that if you're with the wrong crowd and you're innocent, you can still suffer negative consequences if one of them messes up. Is that an important lesson? I think it is. These are the reality talks. Now, if you've got kindergartners, you don't say this. But you know what? If you've got older grade kids, you can mention drugs and alcohol. All right. When a student chooses to leave the independent group, to stop hanging out with a crowd that causes trouble, to leave bad homies behind, that is a tremendous moral decision. One of the most important in a child's life. If he or she keeps going back to the trouble group, then making the decision to leave over and over is wonderfully educational. Here's what I believe. Being in the wrong group is the worst thing that can happen to a kid at school, unless they are the victim of a wrong group. So yeah, you know what? They're going to get a penalty probably every day until they decide, I don't want to be with those kids anymore. And Loftus, you don't have to go to pregnancies with first graders. You just have to say, look, your child needs to learn that if she's in the wrong group and she's not doing anything wrong, bad things can still happen. And in first grade, that's what we're teaching your kid. So dial it in or out in terms of what your grade level is. Jeff Battle, who teaches middle school, might just lay it out there about the real deal and about where the kids are heading. Here's the summary. The independents get their own section of the scoreboard. Negative behavior by one earns each member a penalty. The rule breaker gets a white card and a note home. Others only get a white card, which is bad enough. Students only have to stay in the independent group 1 day. Here are those levels again. Now the question is, here's Marge. How long should I wait before I start with the independents? She's kind of stuttering there, repeating the twice. And her friends, Marge's friends, want to know, how long do we wait? And here's the answer to all the questions. When do you do what? It's your classroom. Nonetheless, I'm going to give you some timelines. Let's say you have a class of sweeties. You never let the frownies outnumber the smileys by more than 3. You have a class of sweeties. Look at this. On day 1, you start the scoreboard, and it lasts all day, all year. About day 10, end of second week of instruction, start of third week, add the super improver wall. Because your kids are so sweet, don't add practice cards until after Christmas. Then, when needed, add the guff counter and the independents. That's if your kids are really, really sweet. And many times, you get lucky and get a bunch of sweeties. Now, what if you got rowdies? You rolled the dice and lost. Here's your rowdies. Day 1, you start with the scoreboard. End of the second week, go to Super Improvers. Unfortunately, you cannot wait until after Christmas for the practice cards. And you've still got back talk a month after the practice cards. Go to the Guff counter. I would not start the independence until after Christmas. It's a long year. Let me explain my reasoning with the timeline. We've only got 7 levels. You've got to save some stuff for after Christmas. And the independence is not going to work unless you've done all the other levels. Don't start independence tomorrow. If you do the other levels, you may not have any rowdies left. The problem with classroom management is you, my friend, the classroom manager. Use the scoreboard 30 or 40 marks a day. Move the kids up on the Super Improver wall. Tack on some practice cards, white ones and green ones, white ones and purple ones and green ones. Get going with the Guff counter. You may not have any independence. Don't start independence tomorrow. Use the system. Don't skip levels. Here's Marge again. But how are all these levels related? The scoreboard is for class behavior, no reward but bragging rights. Super Improvers for individual improvement, no reward but the joy of rising higher and higher. Practice cards address individuals with penalties and rewards. Guff counters stop individual backtalk. And independence, it breaks up a resistant group of rebels. Look at the levels again. This is part of the master class. And next week, we're going to our most amazing tool of all, the bullseye game. Here's Marge. She's so excited. With all these levels, my class will be like a living video game. That's right, Marge. That's what we want, a living video game. Here's a huge point coming at you, my friends. Keep a tally sheet where you can keep track of what you're doing so that you can keep track of what you're doing. This will help you so you're not shooting from the hip. It's time for a brain fact. Make mine serotonin. Let's look at my online audience. My friends, if you have questions about the independence, just post them online. If you're not live, go to the forum at wholebrainteaching.com and post your questions there. All right, it's time for a brain fact. Online audience, who's excited about learning a brain fact, make mine serotonin. Let's hear it. Some people are excited about the tally sheets. That is the way to go. Here's your brain fact. I'm even going to give you a quote from the New York Times about serotonin. Great quote. Here it is. Serotonin in the brain has a basic personality. It's a molecule involved in helping people cope with adversity, to not lose it, to keep going and try to sort everything out, said Philip J. Cohen, a serotonin expert at Consul. Here we go. Is our screen frozen? Let me see, my friends. Let me see if my screen is frozen here. Yes, I think we froze up a little bit. All right, we're going to stop. We'll be back. All right, my friends. I hope that I am back with you. Yes, indeed, I seem to be unfrozen. We're still working on technical problems, but you know what? You can't complain about the price. All right. Serotonin in the brain is a basic personality. It's a molecule involved in helping people cope with adversity, to not lose it, to keep going and try to sort out everything, said Philip J. Cohen, serotonin expert at Oxford University and Medical Research Council. In the fine phrase of his Manchester University colleague, Bill Deacon, it's the don't panic yet neurotransmitter. That's what serotonin is. New York Times. All right. I'm back again. I'm waiting to see if I've frozen up again. Gonna wait a second. Here we go. All right. So serotonin is check this out. Serotonin production is increased by bright light, exercise, and eating, among other things, bananas. And you know what? It's inhibited by caffeine. So, what are you going to have on your cereal tomorrow that you eat on your sun porch right before a jog? If serotonin is a don't panic yet brain chemical, then we believe the Super Improvers team, which rewards for improvement, is a serotonin cocktail. My friends, because we're having a few transmission difficulties tonight, and because I want to get right to the cosmic bonus, I'm going to go right to the cosmic announcement right now, my friends. Cosmic announcement. Here's the cosmic announcement. But before I do that, let me just tell you, next week, we're going to do our most powerful game, the bullseye game for kids who are immune to penalty and peer pressure. Yes, we have some transmission problems. See if I can get things fixed here. Is everybody getting my audio and video now? Audio and video now. Still frozen? I'm going to wait a second. All right. All right, let's get this in. Here's the big announcement. Coming in the new year, cosmic announcement, a new program once a month called Whole Brain Parenting. Oh, how would you like to have once a month a program your parents could tune into that would back you up at home? Whole brain parenting. Once a month. That means for every teacher who watches, you might have 25 parents watching. And we'll talk about the equivalent of classroom management at home, but we'll also talk about skill building and developing critical thinking and helping kids read more deeply and improve their reading speed. Once a month, whole brain parenting. And I'm feeling like we should have a whole book on whole brain parenting. Anybody out there excited by that? Is that cosmic enough? Parents need parenting help. I told you it was cosmic, my friends. Yeah, it's coming. It's a natural progression, which is a good reason to do it. I'm drinking to whole brain parenting right now. You could give it to your parents at open house. Because whatever you say, my friends, parents are the primary teachers. You understand what I'm saying? You're not the teacher, it's the parent. Griffin in LA just missed the whole thing. All right, my friends, kind of a jittery night with our broadcast. I'm going to work on the broadcast quality for next week. So before we leave, let your names and places and grades roll down the screen, my friends. We got through a jumpy broadcast. Yeah. Where are you from? What do you teach? Let those wonderful names fly down the screen. Wichita, Kansas, Tennessee, Parma, Ohio, Margate, Florida, Virginia, Mantua, New Jersey, Lafayette, Louisiana with Andre Desch, Page, Arizona, Burlington, even North Dakota, Cincinnati, Ohio. My friends, I do thank you for the prayers that you've offered for me and my family. Please keep them coming for the health of my family. And we will see you next week. We only have 2 more broadcasts before spring break. Don't miss next week. It's the bullseye game, what to do for a kid who's immune to peer pressure and immune to penalty. You need to see that one. Remember, in the new year, whole brain parenting coming up. So it's Coach B signing off. As always, power to the teachers. See you in a week, my friends.